concentrate on this one. So if you see this Hill cipher, okay, if you consider this Hill cipher, it is a polyalphabetic substitution cipher. Okay, substitution means in the place of one alphabet, you are going to substitute another alphabet. Why we call it as a polyalphabetic or polygraphic means for a single alphabet, you will have a n number of substitution another alphabets. Okay, say suppose if you are substituting for A as some C means, you can't say that for all the A you are going to substitute at C. Okay, so for A you may substitute at C or you may substitute at D. Okay, that is you will have a polyalphabetic for a single character. So this Hill cipher belongs to that category. And if you see this Hill cipher, you can perform using this encryption and decryption. I hope you all know that what do you mean by encryption and decryption. Once again, I will explain what do you mean by encryption. Encryption is used to convert your plain text into a cipher text that happens in your sender side, and decryption is nothing but you are going to convert your ciphertext into a plain text that happens in your receiver side. So why we do this one means in order to have a secured transmission of your data, we are doing this encryption as well as your decryption. Okay, so for this Hill cipher, for encryption, so you have to get your ciphertext. So in order to get your ciphertext, you use this formula, that is plain text into key mod 26. You remember this formula. Similarly, for decryption, you have to do ciphertext into key inverse mod 26. Okay, so for this encryption, it will be easily you can multiply with your given key, but in the case of your decryption, you have to find out a key inverse. Okay, so this part you have to concentrate. Okay, so next let us see one problem so that you'll be understand it better. So you are going to solve one problem, that is you have a plain text. Okay, in your question they have given your plain text as attack. So attack is your plain text and your key is 2 cross 2 matrix key. Okay, so now our duty is to convert our plain text into a ciphertext. That's what happened in your encryption, isn't it? So encryption, what you have to do, you have to convert your plain text into a ciphertext, isn't it? So what you have to do, so in order to convert this one plain text into a ciphertext, so what are the things you require? You need a plain text plus you need a key. So here in key you have a 2 cross 2 matrix. So if it is a 2 cross 2 matrix for a Hill cipher means, then what you have to do means you have to split your plain text in the length of 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do means I'm going to split the plain text into a 2. That is one, that is attack should be splitted as AT is one partition and TA is another partition and CK is another partition. So after splitting, you will get your answer like this. So AT, TA, CK. So this is your first step of your Hill cipher. So Hill cipher, what you have to do first, you have to see the matrix. What is the that is the size of your matrix, whether it is a 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 3 or 4 cross 4. So according to that one, you have to split your plain text. If it is a 2 cross 2 means you have to split it as a 2. If it is 3 cross 3 means you have to split it as a 3. Okay, so next one, let us see. Listen here. So I'm going to explain only this first one in your encryption. So other two things, okay, you do it by yourself. So let us see how this AT is. This is a plain text, isn't it? So this is a plain text. We are going to see how this can be converted into a ciphertext. Now for this AT, you are going to get your ciphertext. Let us see what is the procedure of this one. So for this encryption, you all know that first this AT should be converted into what numbers. Okay, so how it will be converted into a numbers means, first you should put the numbers for A to Z. It starts from 0, so it ends with 25. So in this way you have to get numbers for a this plain text 80. So for this A you have 0 and for this T you have 19. Okay, so you converted this one 80 into a 0 19. That's how you are getting this vector. Next, after this is your plain text, isn't it? So after this, what you have to do, you should get your key, because what is the formula for this encryption? That is, in order to get your ciphertext, C is equal to KP. That is, K is nothing but your key, P is nothing but your plain text, and mod 26. So why you are doing with 26 means you have only 26 alphabets. Okay, so you are going to substitute within this alphabets. So you are going to use this 26. Okay, so key is 2 cross 2 matrix. So you are going to substitute this key over here. Then for this plain text, you are going to substitute this one over here. So when you multiply those two things, so what happens? You will get your ciphertext. So ciphertext, what you are going to do? You are going to multiply this key with your plain text P. This is a matrix multiplication, isn't it? So what you have to do? Matrix multiplication means, so you have to multiply like this. Okay, you mark it like this. That is 2 into 0 plus 3 into 19. So that you will get your answer as, so 2 into 0 plus 3 into 19. So you will get the answer as 57. So you have to multiply in this way. So 2 into 19, sorry, 2 into 0 plus 3 into 19. So you will get the answer as 57. Similarly, you have to do it for this one. 3 into 0, next 6 into 19. So after evaluating this one, you will get your answer as 114. Okay. Now listen here, that value should be less than that of your 26. Therefore, you have to do the mod with your 26. So mod is nothing but when you divide this value, the 56 divided by 26, what is the remainder? That one will be your result. So let us consider for the first one, you're dividing 57. Okay, so this that is with your 26. So you will get the answer as 5. So that is your first cipher text of your A. Okay, so for this alphabet A, okay, you are getting the ciphertext value was 5. Next one, for this 144, after doing the modular function, okay, listen here, so you are getting a value was 10. Okay, so this is for your plain text T. Okay, so this, for this plain text T, you got your ciphertext 5 and 10. So after this, what you have to convert that one into an alphabet. So what is the corresponding numbers for 5? So for 5 is F, isn't it? So 5 is F. So you are getting a F as your ciphertext. Okay, then for your 10, okay, so what happens for your 10? So for 10, see from your tabular column, for 10 you'll be getting K. So you are getting this K. So for the plain text A T, you are getting a ciphertext as FB. Okay, so this is how you have to do it for your rest of your ciphertext. Okay, try to do it for TA and CK, and try to find out your ciphertext for your those two things. Okay, just what you are going to do, you are going to multiply your key with your uh, once again, you are going to multiply your key with your plain text. After multiplication, if your value is greater than that of your 26 means, then you have to do your mod function. Then finally, you'll be getting your ciphertext. Okay, so this is your procedure. So I hope you understand this encryption. So similarly for this AT, you have to do it for your TA and CK. Okay, so I will show the result of that one. So this for TA, you will get your answer as MF. Please note this one in your notebook. Okay, later you solve this problem and verify that you are getting this value. Okay, so for TA, you'll be getting this MF. So the same way you have to do by using this formula. Okay, C is equal to PK mod 26. You know that plain text is for TA is 190. Then you have to multiply with this key. Okay, plain text and key, then finally you'll be getting this value. Okay, similarly you have to do it for your CK, and say for CK you will get the answer as IO. Okay, please note down these two answers. So after doing this, that is your encryption, finally you will get your value as you will get value as FKMFIO. So this one will be your ciphertext. Okay. So this is your ciphertext for your this plain text attack. Okay. So for your plain text attack, ciphertext is FKMFIO. So this is your ciphertext. So the next one, let us see how you can do your decryption. Okay, let us assume that encryption is over and we got your ciphertext. So ciphertext, how you got? Ciphertext is equal to plain text into key mod 26. Just you are going to do multiplication with your plain text with your key. You're going to multiply, then you will get your answer, and you have to find out your corresponding numbers. Okay, and for the corresponding numbers you have to find out the alphabet. So for the plain text you will get your ciphertext. Okay, so that is the easy part in your encryption. But in the case of your decryption, to do this decryption, so what happens means you have to find out your inverse. Okay, see here. So what is the formula? P is equal to K inverse into ciphertext mod 26. So we have only this K, we don't have K inverse. Okay, so now you have to find out your K inverse. Let us see what are the steps to be followed to find out the K inverse. Okay, so this is the K, you all know, and this is your plain text. So from your encryption, okay, we got this ciphertext, isn't it? So you have all these inputs. So first let us see how you have to find out the K inverse. So this is the formula to find out the K inverse. I hope that you all studied in your max itself, isn't it? That is your K inverse. Okay, if you want to find out your 2 cross 2 matrix or 3 cross 3 matrix. So what is the procedure? K inverse is equal to, K is nothing but 2 cross 2 matrix or any matrix. Okay, so you have a matrix. Next one, what is the procedure? K inverse is equal to 1 by determinant, then adjoint of K. Okay, so now what is our first step is you have to find out your determinant. Okay, after finding your determinant, let us consider you have a determinant. After finding this determinant, you have to find out the determinant inverse. So after finding this determinant inverse, you have to find out your adjoint of K. So after finding this adjoint of K, what you have to do means, so adjoint of K, then you have to multiply D inverse with your adjoint of K. So this is the procedure you have to follow. So first you have to find out your D determinant. Next you have to find out D inverse. Then you have to find out adjoint of K. Then you have to multiply these two things. Okay. So let us see what you have to do. So first one, finding a determinant D. So first let us see that how we can find out a determinant of D. So here we have a simple 2 cross 2 matrix. If it is a 2 cross 2 matrix, let us see, this is a general syntax or general rule. If A, B, C, D means, then what you have to do, you have to find out determinant like this, that is A into D minus B into C. So this is a rule you have to follow for a determinant. So what is the key value? Key value is 2, 3, 3, 6, isn't it? This is a 2 cross 2 matrix. So what you'll do, 2 into 6, you will get 12. Next one, minus 3 into 3, you will get a 9. So 12 minus 9 is 3. So what is this value? This is nothing but D. So we got a D value over here. What is the next step? After finding your D, what is your next step? So second step is you have to find out a D inverse, because you have only the determinant. But in the formula, you have to find out 1 by determinant. So you have to find out a D inverse. So this, please listen carefully. Let us see how you have to find out the D inverse. So in order to find out the D inverse, you all know we got D value was 3. Let us see to find out the D inverse. So this is the rule to be followed for your D inverse. This is another method to find out a D inverse. So how to find out a D inverse means, so this is a rule, that is D into D inverse is a concurrent to I mod 26. Okay, so how we can find out means, so I have done that one in your rough column, that is using trial and error method. So listen here, I mod 26 is equal to 1. Okay, so this is I. Okay, this is 1. Okay, so this one is 1. So what you have to do means you have to substitute, that is 3. You have a determinant value, isn't it? So you have determinant value and you have to substitute. Let us consider z. Okay, let us consider this z, d into z mod 26. Okay, you have to find out your z value. Let us consider d into z mod 26 is equal to 1. You have to substitute this z from 1 to some values. Okay, so start substituting by 1. When you substitute 1, what happens? So 1, like listen here. So here I have tried this one. So first what I'm going to do means 5 into x. Let us consider this is z. Okay, let us consider this x. Okay, whatever may be. So when you substitute 1, what happens? You will get your value as 1. So 5 into 1, what will happen means you will get your answer as 5. So when you do with your 26, what happens means your answer will be 5. So you have to see that when you substitute which value, you will get your remainder as 1. So when you substitute 9 only, you will get your value as 1, because 3 into 9 is 27. So 3 into 9 is 27. So when you do this 27 mod 26, so you will get your answer as 1. So this is how you have to find out your inverse of the determinant. You start doing it from your 1. Okay, that is by trial and error method. It's up to you. You can use your gradual, that is your increasing order from 1 2 3 something like this, or it is your wish. You substitute that value with your 1 2 3 4, or it is depends upon to you. Okay, you substitute that value. That value should be less than that of your 26. Okay, when you substitute that one, and you see that when you substitute which value, you are getting your result as 1. So when I substitute 9 only, I'm getting a value as 1. Okay, so determinant of d inverse is 9. Okay, so this is how you have to find out your d inverse. Okay, so now we have a d inverse. So what I said, so d is over, d inverse is over. Next you have to find out your adjoint of k. So adjoint of k, how will you find out your adjoint of k means? So let us consider. So this is the part you are going to find out your adjoint of k. So what do you mean adjoint of k? So how will you find out this adjoint of k means? This is a general syntax. If this is your A, B, C, D, 2 cross 2 matrix means, so adjoint of K should be transmitted like this. That is AD should be inverted like this as DA. Okay. So AD is inverted as DA. Next, what you are doing the C and B, it's just you are changing the sign of your C and B, isn't it? Similarly, for this 2 cross 2 matrix, what I am going to do is just I am going to inverse this 2 and 6. So I am getting this 2 and 6 as 6 2. Okay, just you reverse this one. Then this 3 and 3, you have to change a sign. Here you have a positive sign for this one. So you have to change a sign as negative sign. So you will get your negative sign in your -3 and -3. Okay, so this is nothing but your adjoint of k. So now you have a d inverse. What is a d inverse? D inverse is 9, and you have a adjoint of your k. So now what will be your next step? You have to multiply all those things. But here you have one problem. What is the problem means? So you have a negative sign, isn't it? So you have a negative sign over here. So in your alphabets, okay, that is while assigning numbers, we assigned numbers only from 0 to 25. We don't have any negative numbers. Suppose if you have negative numbers means, then what you have to do means you have to subtract that one with your 26. Okay. So while I'm subtracting with your 26, what happens means I will get your value as 26. This you have to do only for your negative numbers. Okay, say suppose if this if it is a negative number means you have to subtract it. Say suppose if you have a value greater than that of your 26 means, then you have to go for your mod function. Okay, so remember these two things. So why we are doing the subtraction? Because you got your negative sign, therefore we subtracted with your 26. So now you got this answer. So after this you got your A, so this is your A, isn't it? So this is adjoint of A. Now you have a D inverse. So what I'm going to do? So this is your D inverse. Okay, you have to multiply those things. Okay, so 9 into this matrix. So what you are getting? This is your final K inverse. So see here what happens here. Your K inverse value is greater than that of your 26. So always remember that your key value should be less than 26. So what you have to do means you have to multiply, you have to do a mod function. So after doing this mod function, you will get your key K inverse. Okay, so this is how you have to find out your K inverse. Okay, already I explained this one in your 3 cross 3 matrix also. So you try to practice this one for 2 cross 2 matrix. Now you got your K inverse. It now after this it is very easy to find out your ciphertext, because what is the formula for ciphertext? Ciphertext is equal to plain text into K inverse, or K inverse into plain text mod 26, isn't it? So now we have got your K inverse. So easily you can find out your ciphertext. Okay, so we have a decryption formula. So this is a decryption formula. So let us assume that FK, this is your ciphertext, isn't it? Now you have to find out your plain text. So for FK, corresponding value is 5 and 10. So what you have to do? You have to multiply your K inverse into ciphertext. So this is your K inverse. Okay, so this is your ciphertext. When you multiply those two things as we did in your encryption, you will get your value as this 80. Okay, so this is how you have to do it for decryption. Okay, so similarly do it for this M, F and IO. Okay, and you will get your answer as attack. So attack is your plain text. Okay, so this is your plain text. And so this is how you have to find out your plain text that happens in your decryption. Okay, so that's we discussed about your encryption and decryption in your 2 cross 2 matrix for your Hill cipher. Okay, so in exam mostly they are asking in 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay, so you concentrate first on a 3 cross 3 matrix, and 2 cross 2 matrix is very easily you can find out a determinant and D inverse. The same procedure you have to follow in your 3 cross 3 matrix. Please go through the slides which I have shared in your classroom. Okay, please go through it, and so that you'll be understand it better. Okay, so next let us see the revision. Okay, so I got there is some students said that due to this training sessions they are quite difficult to follow the problems, isn't it? Let us revise those problems. Actually, if you see in your first unit, you will have two types of problems. One is your substitutional problem, other one your transposition problem. Okay, substitutional problem means in the place of one alphabet you are going to substitute another alphabet. Transposition problem means in your place of that's just you are going to move your alphabets, you are not going to substitute. Okay, you are not going to replace that alphabets. Okay, so that is the difference. So for your substitution method you have two types, monoalphabetic, polyalphabetic. Already we discussed this one. Let's see this first one, monoalphabetic. Okay, so monoalphabetic means for a single alphabet always you will have only one alphabet to be replaced. For this you have three types. One is the additive, multiplicative, affine. All these techniques you'll be using only one thing you have to remember, formula changes. Okay, other things are common. If you know the formula means easily you can substitute the value and you can get the result. Okay, so for additive, let us see how we can do this is for additive. So later you can easily understand this multiplicative and affine. Okay, so for this additive cipher can also be called as the shift cipher, Caesar cipher, or additive cipher. Let us explain this additive cipher. All those algorithms, you are going to do only two things. One is the encryption, other one is decryption. So encryption means you are going to find out the cipher text. Decryption means you are going to find out the plain text, isn't it? So let's see for this encryption, what is the formula used? C is equal to plain text, that is plus key mod 26. Ciphertext is equal to minus. You have to put your negative sign over here. Let us consider your an example. Your plain text is con. Okay, so what is the first step means? You have to find out the corresponding number from your tabular column. For all those things, you will have a number starting from 0 to 25. So you have to substitute all the numbers for this con. So this is your plain text, and after substituting the numbers, you will get 10, 7, 0, 13. Then you have to add with your key. So what is your key value? Key value is 19. So you are going to add those things. So here also, while adding, suppose if you are getting a value greater than that of your 26 means, then you have to do it your mod function. Then you will get your result. Okay, after that, what you have to do means you have to find out the corresponding alphabets. Okay, so this is how you have to find out your cipher text. The same procedure to be followed for your decryption, but what here we are going to do means you are going to do the subtraction. So here subtraction, again you are going to find out your corresponding DATG. Here for your decryption, you have to put your cipher text. Then you have to subtract with your 19. So here, suppose when you get your negative sign means what you have to do? You have to subtract with your mod function. Okay, sorry, 26. Subtract with your 26 so that you will get your positive value, and you can find out your plain text. Okay, this is for your additive cipher. This is a very easy, and this type of questions you can expect that one in your part A. Okay, additive cipher or multiplicative cipher or affine cipher. Okay, next one is multiplicative cipher. The same procedure you have to follow here also. So here you will have a multiplication. Okay, so next one is affine cipher. Affine cipher formula is this one. Okay, for your encryption you'll be using this plus sign. Okay, so this is a thing you have to follow in your affine cipher. So here you have two attributes, that is A and B. So it's nothing but in your question itself they will give key value as 3 comma 1. So 3 is nothing but A, and 1 is nothing but B. So your X is nothing but your plain text. Okay, so in question they'll be giving your plain text and key, and you have to substitute in this formula. And here mod function, that is sorry, m is nothing but your 26. Okay, you have to substitute the 26 and you'll be getting, you can do your encryption over here. So these type of problems, okay, frequently asked in part A. Okay, so next let us see one important problem. Okay, part B problem. So play for cipher. So play for cipher means, so let us see where you get this play for cipher. So till now we discussed about your monoalphabetic cipher. Okay, so substitution cipher we have two types. One is monoalphabetic, other one is polyalphabetic. Okay, so under this polyalphabetic cipher you have many types. So under this today we discussed about a Hill cipher, isn't it? So next cipher is play for cipher. So play for cipher, let us see what happens in your play for cipher. So for your play for cipher, here what happens? You will you in your question they will give your plain text as well as your keyword. Okay, suppose if the plain text is given means, so let's see what you have to do. Let us consider the keyword. Okay, monarchy. Always you remember, play for cipher means you have to convert your keyword into a 5 cross 5 matrix. Okay, so this is your 5 cross 5 matrix. Okay, this is your 5 cross 5 matrix. Let us see how you have to convert this one, your 5 cross 5 matrix. So what is the keyword? Keyword is monarchy. Okay, so first you have to write the monarchy as it is, MONARCHY. CHY. So this you have to write as it is. Next one, you have to fill your all your remaining alphabets. So how many alphabets you have? You have 26 alphabets, but 5 cross 5 you have only 25. That is a cells you have. Okay, so you can fill only 25 alphabets over there. Therefore, I am going to use the I and J for a same cell. Okay, so listen here, MONARCHY. Already you filled over there. Remaining alphabets, you should not repeat the alphabets. In the key itself, suppose if you have repeated alphabets means while filling in your 5 cross 5 matrix, you have to repeat only once. Okay, remember this point. So after filling all the alphabets, then you will have a three scenario to be followed. Okay, so before entering into that, let's see what you have to do it for your plain text. Let us consider that the plain text is meet me at the schoolhouse. Okay, so what you have to do means you have to split this one as a two. Okay, that is two letters you have to fill. While filling this one, what happens means last letters you will not have any pair. If you don't have, if you any pair means you have to fill it as your X. Okay, so this is how you are getting all the plain text like this. So after getting a plain text, what you have to do, you have to take, let us consider, I'm going to do it for only this ME. Okay, later you check other plain text. Okay, how you have to convert into a ciphertext. So let us consider for this ME. So ME means from your matrix. Okay, you have to see where this ME exits. So see this tabular column, that is your matrix tabular column. So where this M exit, so here you have M and here you have E. So this lies on a same row, isn't it? Sorry, same column, isn't it? So this lies on the same column ME. If it is lies on the same column means, see here, if it is it visible? If it is in the same column means what you have to do, the next that is the immediate next alphabets you have to consider. So this is your C1 and this is your C2. So for this M, what you have to do, the immediate alphabet is C, and for E, immediate alphabet is L. Therefore, for ciphertext for your M is C. Okay, so ciphertext for M is C, and for ciphertext for E is L. Okay, this is how you have to do it. Okay, so from first this one plain text you have to see in your 5 cross 5 matrix, and you have to find out whether it is a whether it lies on the same row or it is lies on the same column, or if it doesn't lies on a same row or same column means then you have to go for a scenario 3. Okay, so this is how you have to convert your plain text into a cipher text. Okay, this part is over. Next one, you have a Vigenère cipher. So Vigenère cipher means it's this is also a part A question. So Vigenère cipher, here also you have to use the same formula, P plus K mod 26, then C minus K mod 26. Okay, so this is the formula you have to do. Let us consider the problem. Encrypt the message she is listening using the key Pascal. So this is the plain text. Okay, she is listening is your plain text, and what is the key? Key is a Pascal. First you convert all the she is listening into a number, so you are getting a number, and you have to follow the key stream. Okay, so key stream is you got a Pascal, isn't it? So you have to write from Pascal, Pascal. After completing this Pascal, once again you start repeating once again Pascal, then PA. You have to repeat this one, then you have to find out the corresponding numbers, then you have to add this plain text individually. So when you add this 18 plus 15, you will get value as 33. Then you have to do your mod function with your 26, though you are getting a value as 7. So 7 is your cipher text. Okay, so for this 7 you have to find out the corresponding value H. So this is your cipher text. If you see this beginner, you have a two method. Either using this formula you can find out, or otherwise using this tabular column you have to find out. This we call it as a beginner table. So using this table also you can find out. I will give an example. S and P. Okay, so this is S and this is P. So see here, S from your tabular column. So this is S. Okay, so where that is your S and P, where it corresponds. So S and P correspond to your H. So here they coincide. So this is how you have to get. So if it is a 2 mark question means, so it is very difficult to write this tabular column and you have to get your answer. So better you follow this method. That is your first method is preferable. Okay, so this is another method. To know another method I have explained over here. Actually, in your exam point of view, okay, you try to prefer this method. So next one is one time pad. Okay, so one time pad is your last method for your mono alphabetic substitution method. So one time pad means, so here you have a key. Let us consider one problem hello and one is key. So what you have to do, you have to use this method. So what you are going to do means, so in your one time pad method, so according to your plain text, random key will be generated. Suppose if your plain text length is 5 means, so key generated key length will also be 5. Okay, so now what happens, easily you can find out the numbers and you can add the value and you can find out the plain text. Okay, so that is a speciality of your one time pad. Okay, so you have to generate the random key. For this can also be called as a stream cipher. So this is a last method. And so in the starting itself we discussed that we have that is your cipher. We have two methods. One is your substitution cipher, other one is your transposition cipher. That is, we discussed fully on only your substitution cipher, isn't it? That is, in the place of one alphabet we have substituted another alphabet. So transposition cipher means you are going to change the position. Okay, so let us see what are the two methods. So in your transposition cipher you have two methods. One is a keyed cipher, other one is your keyless cipher. Keyed cipher means along with your plain text you will have a key. So with the help of your key and plain text you can do a encryption. So after doing your encryption you will get your cipher text. Then from the cipher text you have to do a decryption in order to get your plain text. Okay, similarly next one is you will have a keyless. Keyless means you will have only the plain text. Using the plain text alone you have to find out the cipher text. So let's see the two methods. So first we are going to see the keyless cipher. So in the keyless cipher, first method and is a very popular method is rail fence cipher. So rail fence cipher, let us see one example. For your rail fence cipher, let us see that is your plain text. Define the east wall. So this is the plain text. Okay, so without having your key, how we can do a encryption? Let us see this example. In this example, for this, define the east wall, DEFEND. Okay, so here that is what is the thing you have to follow means how they are arranging the alphabets. Okay, so in the example let us consider you have two rows you have to arrange. Let us consider k value is equal to 2. Okay, by default you can take your k value as 2. Suppose if your k value is equal to 2 means then you have to arrange it like this. That is D E. Next one, after filling this E, next you have to fill F, then E N D. Okay, in this way you have to fill. See here, zigzag method. It looks like a fencing. Okay, so therefore they call this one as a rail fence. So define the east wall. You have to fill it like this: D E F E N D. Next one, T H E. THEEAST, isn't it? Next one, EASTWALL. So in this way you have to fill your alphabets. Okay, sorry. Okay, in this way you have to fill your alphabets. So after filling your alphabets, what you have to do, you have to say first row alone. Okay, see this first row alone. So what is the value for your first row? D F N T E A TAL. Okay, so this is the first row. You have to write this first row. Next one, you have to write your second row. Okay, so this is how you have to do it for your rail fence cipher. This is for your row wise. This example for your column wise. So column wise means you have to write it like this: D E F E N D. So next one, you have to take this one as your first DNETL. Okay, you have to write this. Next one, you have to go to your second column, then you have to write this one, and you have to repeat this procedure. Okay, this happens in your rail fence cipher. And last one is your keyed cipher. Keyed cipher means in your plain text that is considered enemy attacks tonight. So this is your plain text, and your key is nothing but 31452. So this is your key. Okay, so what you have to do means, when this key is given means, you have to write your position as 1 2 3 4 5. So this is your position. So what you have to do means, for your plain text, let us consider only the example for this enemy. For this enemy, what happens? E is here. So it's present in which position? So E is present in first position. If it is present in your first position, what you have to do, you have to move it to your second position. So if it is in a first position, you have to move it to your second position. Next one is N. N is in second position. If it is in a second position, you have to move it to your fifth position. So N is second position. Second position to be moved to your fifth position. So this is your fifth position. So like this, you have to fill it, you have to place your alphabet, that is, you have to replace your alphabets. So this is for your keyed transposition. So within this, we end our cipher techniques. All our cipher techniques are over. Okay, so that's all. I revised all the topics under your cipher techniques. Ashok sir, you can stop recording, sir. So we revised almost all your techniques is over. Okay, I know it is little bit fast. Actually, for a training students, I hope you missed only this ill cipher class. Okay, for other